We have the team from the Umbria network on here, as well as Kaser, the resident crypto expert that we always have here on the stream. And of course, it's going to be a very fun time. We got the one and only Barney and Oscar, and then we have Kaser over here on the right. So, Kaser, for anyone that doesn't know who you are, do you want to give a little bit of a rundown, and then we'll go into the Umbria team?
Yeah, so I'm Kaser. I've been doing crypto for about 10, 11 years now, since hanging out with, Dread Pirate Roberts on the Silk Road. Been reading white papers for a long time. I'd like to say I'm as much of an expert as I can be, right? These guys over here definitely have the edge on me because they have that developer skill, where I'm just a guy that reads and is like, hey, that's a good idea.
All right, so the Umbria team, who are the lovely gentlemen we have on the left?
This is Barney, who's a co-founder and developer, and Oscar, who is a co-founder and developer as well. We're both developers on the Umbria platform. So hello.
So before we kind of let Kaser take over here, do you guys want to just explain for a second what Umbria is for anyone that doesn't know what the project's about?
Umbria.network is a DeFi protocol, and basically it aims to solve all of the issues that Uniswap currently has. Things like really high gas fees and transaction costs for swapping and providing liquidity and that kind of thing. And also making it easy for the layman to come in and use all these awesome DeFi products that we're seeing in the community at the moment.
Love it, love it. All right, well, Kaser, if you want to jump in here and ask your questions away.
For sure. And I'll kind of just introduce how I found Umbria, right? Because I think that's important for people to know. So the biggest thing that people should be looking for when they're looking to find the best projects is what is being developed on the new ecosystems. So as a big supporter of Matic, I got to see what are they doing, right? You got to look for DeFi, you got to look for art, you got to look for games. Those are the easiest onboarding right now. And Umbria is the first major project to be announced on Matic, right? I guess my first question would have to be why did you guys pick SushiSwap instead of maybe a Uniswap or some other, DEX platform?
And the way that SushiSwap became an overnight success is they said, you can migrate your liquidity from Uniswap, but then when you have your liquidity migrated, we'll give you a special LP token. And when you stake that LP token into our platform, you'll earn interest when other people swap. You'll earn part of that swapping fee. So everyone who was in Uniswap said, well, if I just move to SushiSwap, then I'll have this extra thing that I'm getting interest for, and I'll make more money. So why don't I do that?
Yeah, I understand what you guys are saying for sure. You got Uniswap trying to come out with their 3.0 right now to solve this, we're not really DeFi problem. So it's going to be interesting to see how they can pull that off. And like you guys said, Ethereum is 2 years away, really, maybe 3 before they're at 2.0, right?
A change as big as going to from Ether 1 to Ether 2.0, I feel like there could be a whole host of vulnerabilities that we're not going to find for maybe a while, and that could be something interesting that's coming out in the futheure.
Yeah, no, Schiller always asks me, he's like, what should I do with this Ethereum? I'm like, anything but keep it in Ethereum. There's always a better option with better technology, better drive, better passion. I think I'm talking to Schiller about is Beam. I love the way they're doing off-chain pricing, so you can make big barcodes and all that stuff. So you guys typically looking into privacy-driven projects, or what do you look for when you're looking at things you're interested in?
I think the kind of projects that interest us are projects that have a long-term vision and a public team, because we think over the next 5 or 10 years, it's going to get way more regulated, and people are going to start having more trust in the kind of transparent public sorts of projects with teams that you can see.
So one thing that I just wanted to talk about real quick is we noticed the other day that there was the pump and dump thing that was going on, and I didn't really understand what it was, but you guys were saying in the Discord, there was a whole group that came in, and we noticed the price of Umbria completely spike. It went from, I think, around $1.50 upwards to almost $3.50 in a very, very short window. You guys happened to notice it and then reacted. So can you kind of break down what was going on and what was going through your minds when that happened?
There's a whole spectrum of pump and dumps, right? You have the extreme pump and dump groups, which are hello, we're a pump and dump group, please join us and pump and dump with us. And then there's pump and dump groups, which are more like pump and dump groups in suits, where they say, tell us about your project, tell us about what you're going to do, and if we like it, we'll tell our community. But really, we're going to have bought some beforehand, tell our community, the price will go up, and then we'll dump on our community and dump on your community. We noticed that all at the same time, a small group of people bought a lot of the currency, and then they were all coming in and saying, what's going to happen with this currency? What are you going to do? We want to show it to our community. So it was pretty clear to us, we think, that they were just trying to pump the coin and then kill our community. So what we thought we'd do is we'd take some of that money that they put it into our liquidity pool and feed it to our farmers, so that we can continue building our community slowly and steadily, have a proper project that isn't going to just moon and then dump and burn everybody.
We have a question as well coming in from Mecha Boy here in the chat. He says, 2 years from now, where are we at with Umbria? And I know that's kind of a broad term, but where do you guys think we'll be?
Well, our long-term vision is to have a whole suite of DeFi features as cheaply and as easy to use as possible.
Yeah, we're not allowed to strictly announce anything right now, but if you go to the person who deployed the Umbria farm contract, which was me, if you go to my Etherscan, and then you go onto the Matic Explorer with the same address and have a look at some of the contracts that have just been deployed on Matic, that might be like an exciting thing for anyone who's looking to see what we're doing next, because we've got some really exciting things coming up in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, and what we can say is we have just secured a domain name, which is Umbria.exchange. So make of that what you will. One of our main focuses on this project is to make everything dead simple, because we know how confusing and overwhelming a lot of this stuff is. I remember when I first used Uniswap, I couldn't figure it out for the first few minutes, and I'm supposed to be a developer. And we'll be releasing all kinds of documentation that will thoroughly detail every single step, so you won't be able to make any mistakes.
If it's for you guys, what do you fear the most when it comes to, what could, pop what people call a bubble right now?
I definitely have an existential fear of someone solving SHA-256 in linear time. Because if that happens, it's game over for a lot of proof-of-work chains. It's game over pretty much for crypto in general for a long time, I think. Because although if someone solves that, then people can crack passwords in linear time too. So, I mean, we're screwed in more ways than one if that happens. But another thing that I think is a real problem is people that are new to the space just getting sucked into silly projects, which I guess is okay if they're, brand new to the space and they're not using much money to investigate it and educate themselves. But I think it's just so easy to get scammed, particularly in places like Reddit, where maybe you have a Binance account and you've forgotten your password, and you go on Reddit to see if you can find any help, and then 8 scammers come out of the woodwork and try to steal your passwords and that kind of thing.
I do think that scams are a big problem, especially like I'm in the NFT space more than I planned on being, for sure. Like this, what is it, Egimon that just came out that's shown up on everyone's Twitter right now? At least there's some sort of utility built in, right? They're going to be like, oh, you can farm on it, you can add some ERC1199s, right? You can do other things. But there's so many projects, I'm like, I don't get it. And I think there's...
The NFT space right now is very similar to the 2016-17 ICO boom.
Yeah.
Where everyone's in the line of confusion. There's a lot of cryptocurrency projects coming up that don't really make any sense. But I think that that's more of a product of how new it is, rather than, there's always going to be people that are just coming in to get a quick buck. But I think that there's a lot of innovation. 95% of it will be, innovation that doesn't go anywhere. And I think that's okay too.
Awesome. So Worldmaster says, back to the potential pump and dump. At some point, this is bound to get some coverage and really take off. How will you differentiate a big natural takeoff like that from a pump and dump and really let it see big growth?
When a coin triples in price out of the blue and you have, 80 Ethereum of volume in 5 minutes compared to let's say 1 or 2 Ethereum, you can kind of tell it's not an organic thing. And I guess there's going to be some judgment calls we just have to make to whether we know if something is just us going to the moon because of a great product we made or something like that, or if people are coming in and trying to do dodgy things with our community.
Awesome. All right. Well, I don't want to take too much more of your guys' time. I think that was very eye-opening. It was exciting. I know that a lot of us here that are a part of the stream, got introduced from Kaser. Now we're seeing you guys come on, and it's really awesome that you guys are transparent. I think it adds a lot of validity when you guys were saying, hey, people are anonymous, and we can simply just message you guys, join the Discord, and all that kind of stuff. So for anyone that's been watching this and are interested in getting more involved with Umbria, can you guys tell us where is the best way to find you?
Sure. So if you go to Umbria.network, you'll find our roadmap there, and then there'll be a list of all the socials. If you want to chat with us, we're most active on Discord, and then Telegram is a close second. And those are the best places to get in contact with us and also learn about the Umbria protocol as well.
Awesome. All right. Well, I want to thank you guys so much. Kaser, if you want to stay on the line, feel free. We can kind of do a little bit of a debrief afterwards. But guys, thank you so much. Everyone else in the chat, W's, fire it up. Let's go. Thank you so much for taking the time, and we'll talk real soon.
Great. Thank you for having us.
Thank you very much.
Later, guys.
Holy shit, pal. That was unbelievable. People were commenting saying, yo, look at Kaser just grinning over there. It was really cool. What are some of your main takeaways from that?
It's just fun to talk to some people that are so knowledgeable and have been around that long, right? You don't get that opportunity very often. And like they said, like when I talk to you in messages about the pump and dumps are common, but for a team to step in and take care of it the way they did is something special.
I don't know, Kaser. I felt like we were sitting there and just listening to them give us a whole bunch of knowledge, almost like a teacher in a way, and to show how much they know. When they were talking about some of the other projects that they've done, created, they said that they had one community that had like 100,000 people in it or whatever. Like, what were your thoughts that these guys have done so many other projects already?
It just gives you more trust in their vision, right? Because they've done it before and they know what works and what doesn't work, and that's always that learning process has already happened. So if we don't have to worry as much about, the bumps in the road because they've already faced them. And I think that's a huge benefit for the project and the community.
What are the friggin' odds that we get to sit here, talk with guys that have had all this experience with blockchain in an area where this is taking off? They have some great projects. They're cool to talk to. Like, I think that's the best thing. Like, I don't know. When you first got into Umbria, did you think that they were going to be that open, cool to talk to, and everything like that? Because I don't know how often we're able to do that in the crypto scene.
I helped out with the test nets on Hopper, another project that I'm hot on, and it was a pain in the butt to try and get a hold of the team and say, this isn't working for me. I think you should do this or that. They would rather just ignore you and keep doing what they were doing, and I don't think that's the Umbria style. So makes me even more excited to be a part of it.
All right, Kaser, that's probably going to wrap it up for right now. Dude, you're a legend. We'll have you on again soon. Thank you for helping us navigate the waters. This guy's the GOAT. Also runs zgazette.com. So be sure. W's in the chat. Kaser, we'll talk soon, good sir.
All right. Later, guys.
All righty. I'm feeling good. I don't know. When I started this whole stream thing for Top Shot and you told me we'd have developers of something that might be as big as this shit, hell nah, baby. Hell nah.